Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I normally do it with this finger, but I did it with this finger. But hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Joe Flash, and we are continuing where we left off with Spider-Man voice comparison updated by Generation West. We are still checking this video out. This is the third time in a row on my YouTube channel that I checked this video out. I've already checked it out twice before on my channel from 2 years ago, and then the year prior to that, 2019. So I'm checking it out for a third time in a row on my channel because today is Spider-Man Day, so I just didn't really have any other better way to celebrate it other than checking out this video for the third time in a row on my channel, and this will probably be the last time I'll ever check this video out on my channel because I don't want it to be annoying that I keep reacting to this video so much, you know what I'm saying? Because I've never checked out anything 3 times in a row before, you know what I'm saying? So this is pretty weird, you know what I mean? But anyway, so I already did a part 1 of my reaction recap to Spider-Man voice comparison updated. If you want to check out part 1, you can go find it. You know, you can go look back because it was the previous video that I made before this one, so you can go back and look at it right now. I suggest you do because you know, I'm not gonna go back to everybody. I'm only gonna continue where I left off. So in part 1, we went from Paul Souls, who voiced Spider-Man in the original series with the original theme song, Spider-Man, and then we ended it with Drake Bell. So we're going to resume where we left off. As I said, we started with Paul Soul, and then we ended it with Drake Bell in part 1. So now we're going to resume where we left off, as we're going to start with Andrew Garfield, and then we're going to try to see if we can get through the rest of the voice actors for the rest of the video. So we're going to resume back off with Andrew Garfield. He was next after Drake Bell, so we're gonna resume where we left with Drake Bell, with Andrew Garfield. So yeah, like I said, if you haven't seen part 1 where I went from Paul Souls to Drake Bell, go check it out right now if you haven't yet, because you know, I suggest, you know, it's part 1, you know, you need to see it. But if you have gone ahead and seen it already, good for you. But if you haven't yet, go do it right now. But if you're just one of those people that just doesn't care and you just want to see my reaction anyway to part 2 without seeing part 1, then so be it, I guess. But at least, you know, for people that are not going to want to check out part 1 and just want to see me react to this part 2 instead of checking out my part 1 first, or not wanting to see my part 1 reaction at all, at least on the bright side, after this video is over, I'll still rank who I have as my favorite Spider-Man, you know, who I have as my favorite animated video game voices for Spider-Man and my favorite live-action Spider-Man. So, you know, the people that were featured in my part 1 reaction recap will be name listed at the end of the video. Some of them will, and then, you know, some of the ones that will be seen here in part 2 will be name listed as well, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so as I said, this is a reaction recap. I've already reacted to this video twice before. The first time I reacted to it was in 2019. The second time I reacted to it was the next year, 2020, to celebrate Spider-Man Day late that year. And this year, Spider-Man Day falls on this day, August the 1st, so then I thought, you know, maybe I'll check it out third time and one more time on my channel just to celebrate. I couldn't think of any other way to celebrate it. So this is my third time in a row that I'm reacting to Spider-Man voice comparison updated by Generation West. This is my reaction recap, and this will be the third and last time I'll check it out before I'll no longer be reacting to this anymore, because I don't want you guys to get annoyed or anything. But just have patience, y'all. We're almost done. We have, like, almost just a few minutes left. You know, we're in 22 minutes in. We're almost done, so have patience. We're almost done with this, so let's resume where we left off, shall we? Once again, as I said, if you haven't seen part 1 yet, go ahead and go check it out right now. But if you just don't want to, then fine, you can join me right here, right now. But anyway, let's get this started, shall we? Like I said, Paul Souls, we made it from Paul Souls to Drake Bell in part 1 of my reaction recap to this video. We're going to now resume with Andrew Garfield and try to see if we can get through the rest of these people. So, let's do it, shall we? I'm not going to waste any more time at all, as I'm ready to get this over with. There was more voice comparison reaction videos I was going to plan on doing today, but it's 9 o'clock and the sun's starting to go down, so I might have to save some of them for tomorrow, because it's getting late. I mean, the other voice comparison videos I want to react to on my channel, they're a lot shorter than this one, but still, I might have to save them for tomorrow, because, you know, I'm kind of already somewhat tired from this video already, so I might have to save it for tomorrow. Along with something else that I was going to plan to celebrate Spider-Man Day with today as well, but I might have to save that for tomorrow too. You'll see tomorrow, so like I said, stay tuned for tomorrow and I'll show you by then, okay? But anyway, let's finally get this over with and pick off where we left off with Spider-Man voice comparison updated. So let's finish this off with part 2 and get my reaction recap over with. So here we go, y'all. I'm ready. So let's do this, shall we? God, my voice is tired from all this talking as well. I've had a lot to say. So let's do it. I'm done. So like John Cena and Triple H will always say, your time is up, my time is now, it's time to play the game. Let's go ahead and resume this, shall we? Spider-Man, voice comparison updated by Generation West. Reaction recap. Spider-Man Day Special. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So here we are. So this is where we left off in part 1. We ended it with Drake Bell. Now we're going to resume with Andrew Garfield. So there's a few things that I do have to say, because if you watched part 1, I also said this at the beginning of the video. Some of my reactions and some of my rankings of some of these people in these videos, they've changed since the last 2 times I ranked them in my last 2 reactions to this video. So, you know, some of my rankings and some of my, you know, votings are going to be different. Well, one of the best examples of my rankings being different is with Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. In part, and this is what I'm about to talk about it right now. So, in my last 2 reactions to me reacting to this video, the last 2 times I reacted to this video on my channel, I gave Andrew Garfield a thumbs up, but I kind of considered him as a maybe Spider-Man, so I put him in my maybes list because, you know, for the most part, it's because he's good as Spider-Man, but the Amazing Spider-Man films weren't that good, and that kind of channels his performance as Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? But that has changed since then, but I still have the same reaction. Andrew Garfield, look, get this. Even though he's everybody's least favorite Spider-Man actor, he's a great Spider-Man. He makes a great Spider-Man, and he does make a great Peter Parker as well. But like I said, it's just the way that the way that Sony and Marvel booked the Amazing Spider-Man films for Andrew Garfield. That's what, you know, that's what channeled his performance, you know, because they booked him real badly. But he deserved a lot better. I thought Andrew Garfield deserved better because he makes a good Spider-Man and he makes a good Peter Parker. So he deserves better credit, you know what I'm saying? And you know what? I've really had my opinion change on Andrew Garfield ever since he returned in Spider-Man No Way Home last year in 2021 in December for Spider-Man No Way Home. When I heard, I remember rumors were speculating if him and Tobey Maguire were going to come back, and when I watched the movie at Showbiz, oh my god, I was so excited when the rumors came true that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire returned in the movie. It was great, you know, it was really great. And Andrew Garfield was pretty good in that movie as well. In fact, he actually won an award for his performance as Peter Parker Spider-Man in Spider-Man No Way Home. He actually won an award for it. So that's pretty cool, you know. Pretty cool for him, you know what I'm saying? And I did hear, and they did release the Marvel Phase 5 MCU movies that'll be coming out like this year, and I think till 2025. There's gonna be 2 Avenger movies that'll be coming out later in the future, and it's rumored to expect that we might see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire both come back as their own Spider-Man again. So that'll be pretty cool. Not to mention that after they revealed all the Marvel movies and series that'll be in the Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they also said Multiverse Saga, so that makes sense too, you know. I hope it's true because some guy on Instagram confirmed that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield will be returning in one of the 2 Avenger movies, along with Patrick Stewart returning as Professor Charles Xavier, and Professor X as well. But people still don't know if it's going to be true, if Hugh Jackman is going to be returning as Wolverine. I want to hope he does, but I'm not sure if it'll happen because pretty much Logan from 2018, I think that's when the movie came out. Logan was supposed to be Hugh Jackman's final movie as Wolverine. It was supposed to be his final performance as Wolverine before he was about to officially retire as Wolverine. So yeah. But Andrew Garfield, he really did good. Like, if you look back at the Amazing Spider-Man films, despite them being not that good, you know, Andrew Garfield's performance as Spider-Man and Peter Parker was really good, you know what I'm saying? You know, in part 1, I mentioned how people would say that Tobey Maguire was the best Spider-Man, but was not the best Peter Parker because he was too mature. Andrew Garfield may not have been the best Spider-Man, but he actually was the better Peter Parker, you know what I'm saying? He thought he did better as Peter Parker. And then Tom Holland is the only one that does the best as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But even Andrew Garfield deserves a chance of redemption. You know, I heard rumors. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but there's rumors for fans wanting to hope that maybe Andrew Garfield will get an Amazing Spider-Man 3 film, and Tobey Maguire will get a Spider-Man 4 film, which should have originally happened back in the days, because they were supposed to originally make Spider-Man 4 and Spider-Man 5 back after Spider-Man 3 was made for Tobey Maguire, but those movies got canceled, unfortunately, and never came to be. So hopefully maybe they'll give Tobey Maguire the chance to get a Spider-Man 4, the chance to redeem himself, and even finish his story, you know what I'm saying? Because I really would want Tobey Maguire to be able to get the chance to finish his Spider-Man story, and even for Andrew Garfield too, if possible too, you know what I'm saying? I really would have wanted to see what happened after his life, after he lost Gwen Stacy in Amazing Spider-Man 2, you know what I'm saying? So it really would have been cool. But Andrew Garfield really did pretty good. Like I said, he really is a good Spider-Man. It's just because of the way how bad the Amazing Spider-Man films were is what channeled his performance. But when you look back at it, he really makes a great Spider-Man and a great Andrew Garfield and a great Peter Parker as well. So he really deserves a chance for redemption as well. And if the rumors do come true of him and Tobey Maguire returning as their own Spider-Man again in the future Avengers film, that'll be pretty good. I was so happy that the rumors came true of him and Tobey Maguire returning as Spider-Man No Way Home. That was probably the best part of the whole movie, just seeing all three Spider-Man actors together. Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield. It was fantastic. It was really the best part of the whole movie, in my opinion. I was like, as soon as Andrew Garfield came on screen and took his mask off to reveal himself, I was just so excited. And then, you know, eventually once Ned revealed that he was going to open a portal to find Peter Parker, Tom Holland Peter Parker, I was thinking, is this going to be Tobey Maguire? And yep, as soon as he stepped through the portal, it was Tobey Maguire. So yep, it was happening. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were making their return, which was amazing. So pretty cool stuff, you know. So Andrew Garfield, I give him a lot more respect and a lot more credit for his performance as Spider-Man nowadays. Like I said, my opinions have changed since then. Ever since Spider-Man No Way Home, my opinions have changed since then. I have a lot more respect and a lot more credit for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man now. And you know, back then when I chose for live action wise, like after my last two reactions to Spider-Man updated voice comparison, when I had my favorites for live action Spider-Man, it was only Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire. Andrew Garfield was only my maybe, but you know what? Ever since Spider-Man No Way Home, my opinion has changed since then. So you know what? Andrew Garfield is up there as my favorite live action Spider-Mans along with Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland. I have him up there as my favorites now. He's my third favorite. Tobey Maguire is second, and Tom Holland is number one. Because even though I do agree with the world that Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man, but Tom Holland is my current favorite Spider-Man. I'm really currently loving his performance. But Andrew Garfield, I added him to my list recently. Like I said, it used to only be Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland as my two only picks for favorite live-action Spider-Man. You know, despite the fact, you know, all that, you know, back in my previous two reactions, but ever since then, I've changed my mind since then. Andrew Garfield is now up there along with Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland as my favorite live-action Spider-Man. He's up there on my list now. See, my opinion has changed. My opinions for my last two reactions have changed since then. You see what I mean? But anyway, enough said. I've spoken long enough about what I need to be said, so let's go ahead and just resume the video. Like, seriously, it's such a shame that people just don't give enough credit and respect for Andrew Garfield because of how bad the Amazing Spider-Man films were, you know what I'm saying? But he really deserves a lot more better credit and respect because Andrew Garfield really did an amazing job. He really did. Plus, it was like his dream to become Spider-Man anyway, too. Like, there's throwback photos when he was dressed as him as a kid and then, you know, even went to con to surprise people. It pretty much was actually like Andrew Garfield's dream to become Spider-Man. Same with Tom Holland as well, you know. So, you know, you really got to give more better respect for Andrew Garfield because he really did a great job while he lasted during the time being. Not to mention, he did have a couple funny moments in the Amazing Spider-Man films as well, along with Spider-Man No Way Home as well. Spider-Man No Way Home was the best Spider-Man film ever. He was even better than the Tobey Maguire movies, in my opinion. Spider-Man No Way Home is my current number one favorite movie. I freaking love that movie so much. In fact, next month of September 1st in the United States of America, they're going to release an alternate extended version of Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters, and I do want to hope that I can plan to go see it. Sam Riegel, if that's how you say his name, the Amazing Spider-Man video games. I did hear that the Amazing Spider-Man video games were not that good at all. A lot of people really hated these games. The Amazing Spider-Man games, you know, video games were really bad, is from what I heard. A lot of people absolutely hate these games so much. If it was already bad enough that people did not like the Amazing Spider-Man films with Andrew Garfield, it had to make worse that they made Amazing Spider-Man video games, and they both sucked, as from what I heard people say. But there was one guy on Instagram that had an unpopular opinion where he said that Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Spider-Man 2 video games was kind of basically almost like Spider-Man PS4. Because there was similarities in his opinion, even though it's an unpopular opinion, but that's what he said. I remember him saying that.
Just craving someone I can trust. Craven obviously doesn't know who I really am.
I mean, you know what, fine, I'll go ahead and give it a thumbs up, screw it. It's not the best, I wouldn't. Well, you know what, actually, you know what, I give it a maybe. I changed my mind, I'm giving it a maybe. I don't know why I said I'd give it a thumbs up at first, now I'm changing my mind, but it's not bad, but it just isn't the best, you know, it feels like it needs more work, so I'm changing my mind, I'm giving it a maybe. Andrew Chaikin. Or however you say that last name, sorry, I know that was wrong, sorry, I don't know why I said chicken, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that last name. But Andrew, however you say his last name, Ultimate Spider-Man Total Mayhem. I never heard of this game, so I'm not familiar with this. That's a good voice, sure, thumbs up. I'm sorry if I keep messing with my hair so much. Humidity just, you know, it messes on my hair a lot even when I take showers. Oh, cool. Oh, there was an iOS, a phone app version of the game. Okay, that's cool. There was a phone app version. You know, I kind of forget there was a phone app version of the game, apparently, the Amazing Spider-Man game. There was one you could play on your phone. Okay. At least this voice actually sounds better than that other guy that voiced him in the video games for, like, the Wii and all that kind of stuff. I like this guy's voice a little bit better than the other guy that voiced him, Spider-Man in the Amazing Spider-Man video games. Or did he voice him in Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game for the phone app as well? Or was this just the only time he voiced Spider-Man? Or was this just the only game that he voiced him in? The phone version of Amazing Spider-Man 1, but he did voice him in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Did this guy voice him in Amazing Spider-Man 2 for the phone? Okay, clearly not, because they didn't show him, so clearly not. Oh, yes. Pinball FX 2, I never heard that. Never mind. But yes. You know what, personally, Yuri Lowenthal was up there as one of my favorite voice actors for Spider-Man, along with Josh Keaton. Josh Keaton right now is, even till this day, is still my #1 favorite voice actor for Spider-Man in video games and animated series and stuff, especially when it comes to the Spectacular Spider-Man series and Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Josh Keaton has been my #1 favorite ever since then, but you know what? I consider Yuri Lowenthal to be up there along with Josh Keaton. He's probably my second favorite voice for a video game Spider-Man. He does just as good as well. You know, a lot of people really say Yuri Lowenthal is real good, and you know what? I agree. His voice in Spider-Man PS4 and other games, he really has an amazing voice for Spider-Man. So you know what? I put Yuri Lowenthal up there as my #2 favorite pick for him as a video game voice Spider-Man, along with Josh Keaton. Or anything, period. It can be animated-wise, video games, but when it comes to video game-wise, Yuri Lowenthal is up there as my second favorite voice for Spider-Man in a video game. Like, I really consider Yuri Lowenthal up there along with Josh Keaton. He's up there with Josh Keaton for me. I really do say that. I really mean that. I've really grown to love Yuri Lowenthal's voice for Spider-Man a heck of a lot ever since. Ever since Spider-Man PS4, I've been loving it, like, ever since. Like, I really have a lot of respect for his voice. His is up there with Josh Keaton. So, of course, double thumbs up for Yuri Lowenthal. Like, listen to his voice, man. He really has a great voice. Like, his voice can even sometimes be... Like, sometimes if I was to, I could sometimes forget... Oh, okay, so he voiced him in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 app game. Okay. So the other guy, Andrew, voiced Spider-Man in the Amazing Spider-Man app game, but apparently Yuri Lowenthal voiced Spider-Man in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 phone app game. Okay. Cool.
Sorry, it's just so rare that I get to use my electricity-based material. Just want to know if I can help.
But, you know, as I was gonna say, sometimes I feel like I might mistake Yuri Lowenthal's voice for Spider-Man to be Josh Keaton's, because Yuri Lowenthal has that good of a voice that he kind of almost sounds like Josh Keaton's Spider-Man when he voices him. So, if it's possible, I could probably mistake Yuri Lowenthal's voice for Spider-Man as Josh Keaton sometimes. I think maybe there have been times I have, I don't know. Probably like in Ultimate Alliance 3, for example. He did, Yuri Lowenthal voiced Spider-Man in Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. And Josh Keaton was actually in that game as well, but he only voiced Ant-Man, though. But they do sound similar. The voices sound similar, though. So, like I said, it could be possible that I could mistake Yuri Lowenthal's voice for Spider-Man as Josh Keaton's. Because he really sounds close like Josh Keaton, and he really has that good enough of a voice of him. So, like I said, I really put Yuri Lowenthal up there as my second favorite voice for video game Spider-Man, along with Josh Keaton. His is up there, in my opinion. I don't know what was this. I think I heard of this game app too. This phone app game as well, Ultimate Spider-Man. It's kind of like Subway Surfers, where you just dodge left and right, I think. Yes, this is the game that got Yuri Lowenthal so over with his voice of Spider-Man. This is the game that got him so popular with his Spider-Man voice. From this game right here, Marvel Spider-Man PS4. That is a fantastic game, even though I don't have the right system to play, but I really would actually like to play this game. A lot of people said this is an extremely fun game. Like, this game had good reviews, you know what I'm saying? This is an extremely fun game, Spider-Man PS4. Not to mention that they rebooted it on the PS5 as well, but except Peter Parker's face design was different in the PS5 version. Because shortly after making Spider-Man PS4, when they released the PS5, they made a Spider-Man game around Miles Morales. It was called Spider-Man Miles Morales. That's supposed to take place after Spider-Man PS4, and Peter Parker's in the game, but he got a different face design, and people weren't really a big fan of it. And then when they decided to reboot Spider-Man PS4 for the PS5, they used the newer Peter face design for the PS5 version instead of the original one in PS4. And there is actually now a Marvel Spider-Man 2 game that's going to be coming out too, which has both Peter Parker and Miles Morales, and Venom's going to be in the game as well. I'm sure that game's going to be lots of fun. I guarantee it's going to be lots of fun. It probably might be better than the first Marvel Spider-Man game on the PS4. It might be. Just the fact that you got Venom, and then the fact that you got both Miles Morales and Peter Parker. They also are they're also releasing a Wolverine game as well, which more people are more excited about Spider-Man 2 than Wolverine, but there's a Wolverine game that'll be coming up as well. And yes, here we are. As I said, Yuri Lowenthal did also voice Spider-Man in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. That was actually a fun game, I'm not gonna lie. When I played that on the Nintendo Switch, it was actually lots of fun. I think I still probably like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 as my favorite one between Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I think the second one is probably my personal favorite between all three of them, but Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 was really fun too, it really was. Some people wish that they didn't make a third Marvel Ultimate Alliance game for some reason. Some people wish that they didn't make Ultimate Alliance 3, but it really is actually very fun. I really like it a lot. Wolverine Weapon X. Okay. Definitely another thing that I've never seen before.
That's never good. Whenever people come here from the future, it's always from a future that totally sucks.
I'll give it a maybe. Things
are actually better than they are now, you know?
It sounds good, but needs a little bit of improvement. So maybe.
Sorry. You guys tried to rob my close personal
Marvel Video Comics. I never heard of this.
And now your hands are
Cole Howard.
Did I mention Iron Man and me are totally BFFs? Team up once. Full on team up.
Okay, not bad. Not bad. Thumbs up. Not bad. Yeah, some of these Marvel stuffs I never heard of before because I don't play that many video games and stuff like that, so yeah. Marvel Superhero Adventures. I can't recall if I've heard of this game either. I like how with this design for Spider-Man in this game, he kind of looks like he's a mixture of the Ultimate Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, because with Ultimate Spider-Man, you know, the red usually goes down to his arm, to his glove, but in Ultimate Spider-Man, he only has the red going up to his shoulder, and then the rest is blues. That's kind of what the Ultimate Spider-Man, who was famously voiced by Drake Bell, was like, you know? And then it gives me Andrew Garfield feelings just because of how big that spider symbol is on his chest. So it just kind of gives me both Drake Bell Ultimate Spider-Man feelings and Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 2 feelings. I don't know why. Just for some reason, looking at it now, it kind of gives me a mixture of Drake Bell and Andrew Garfield feelings. Erick and Daymond, Marvel. I've heard of this game, Marvel Avengers Academy. I don't know what this game is about, but as far as I'm concerned, it looks almost like if this is a game where it just talks about the Marvel superheroes attending school, like they're all school students, you know, it's pretty weird. I mean, Peter Parker's already a school student anyway at Midtown High, but other Marvel superheroes are too, like I think Captain America, the Hulk, and all that. It's pretty weird. But that's not a bad voice, though. I'll still give it a thumbs up, man. What I really like about this fact is if you look at Erick David, he kind of almost looks like Peter Parker himself. I mean, look at that face design for Peter Parker in the game. He kind of actually almost looks like him. Don't you think? Because of the fact that he's got glasses as well. Look at it. Erick David kind of almost looks like Peter Parker himself in the game. That's pretty crazy, don't you think? He really almost looks like him. Mainly because they got glasses and stuff. And apparently this is what Peter looks like when he's wearing the Spider-Man costume in the game. Oh, excuse my yawning. I'm getting tired, bro. I need to hurry up and wrap this up. I'm getting really tired now. Sean Chip. Marvel TLDR. I don't even know what that is. That is definitely something I never heard of before. I'll have to listen to that. Okay, I'll give it a thumbs up. Yes. You know, I talked about LEGO Marvel Super Heroes in my Part 1 video. I thought LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2 was even better than the first one. I thought that LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2 was better than LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 1. This one was more fun to me, in my opinion. I love how the fact that with this version of the game, they go with Tom Holland Spider-Man design. It's pretty cool. In the first... excuse me. In the first LEGO Marvel Super Heroes game, they go with the classic Spider-Man design, which is pretty much how he always looked in LEGO form. But in this game, LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2, they decided to go with the Tom Holland LEGO design. That's pretty cool. I really like that a lot. It's pretty awesome. So yeah. Like I said, I really thought this was more fun than the first LEGO Marvel Super Heroes game. I really thought LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2 was much more fun, in my opinion. But so I'm definitely going to give it a thumbs up. Definitely going to give a thumbs up to Martin Sherman. Okay, my friend Andrea's trying to call me. I have to call her back later. Ignore that. Sorry, my friend Andrea's trying to call me. Sorry. Apparently must be trying to talk to me about something. Hold on. I have to talk to her later. Or maybe I might have to talk to her tomorrow. But anyway, I was going to say, this guy's voice is actually pretty cool because sometimes when he was voicing Spider-Man in this game, he kind of almost sounded like Tom Holland a couple of times. Like, sometimes he was sounding like the normal animated video. Sometimes he was kind of sounding like almost like a normal Spider-Man voice, and other times he actually almost sounded like Tom Holland sometimes. So his voice kind of went back and forth in this game. Sometimes he sounded like a normal average animated Spider-Man voice, but then other times he kind of sounded like if he was trying to sound like Tom Holland Spider-Man. So he kind of went back and forth voicing Spider-Man in this game, Martin, but still pretty cool overall. He still did a good job, so still out of respect, thumbs up for his performance. Let me move the bed up a little closer. Hold on, give me a minute. I'm gonna move the bed up a little closer. For some reason, when I sit down on the bed, or sometimes when I move on the bed, because, you know, I keep sitting up and sitting down off the bed, you know, getting up and getting off the bed. For some reason, sometimes when I do that, for some reason, the bed just moves backwards. Like, it pushes back towards that drawer back, towards that cabin, or that drawer back there, or whatever it is. So, you know, I have to move the bed a little closer. I mean, because I don't need it to, like, touch the thing to where it causes a bust, because this is an air mattress, so this thing can easily bust if it touches something, you know, sharp. Anyway, Robbie Daymond, Marvel Spider-Man. Now, although this is another series that I don't watch, but I have seen clips of it on YouTube as well, it looks like an entertaining series, even though a lot of people aren't really a big fan of it. It's kind of underrated, but this series kind of looks like it's pretty cool, too. This is the same series that has that episode, like Maximum Venom and all that kind of stuff. This series actually looked like this would be watchable and enjoying to watch as well. It actually looks like a pretty cool series, so I actually, some of the clips on YouTube actually did look pretty entertaining to watch. So this actually would probably be another pretty interesting series to watch if I was to check it out. Even despite the fact that a lot of people aren't a big fan of it and it's underrated, and maybe it's not my kind of Spider-Man anime series, but it still looks like a fun series to watch, so I probably would give it a watch, if there is a streaming service or anything that has this whole entire series. And plus, Robbie Daymond's voice is actually pretty good too, so I'll respectfully give him a thumbs up. Robbie Daymond's voice for Spider-Man in this series was pretty good too, I'm not gonna lie to you. He actually has a pretty good voice too.
I need to become a hero. Saying it's been easy. It's how I've made sense of what's happening. I'm sure it's what I'm Don't it all know I've become many things. A menace. Amazing.
Sorry.
Spectacular. Sensational. You'll know me best as Spider-Man.
But yeah, this series looked like it would be pretty entertaining. It might surprise me a bit if I watched it. Oh wow, he voiced him in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which is basically Marvel vs. Capcom 4. I heard that was a fun game. I don't hear too many people talk about the Marvel vs. Capcom games, but a lot of people would probably feel like some people would consider them one of the best crossover games, because Marvel vs. Capcom's classic, But I'm pretty sure if I was to ask people about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I'm sure some people would say this was a pretty good game. The animation looks pretty good, so I feel like that probably had to be a fantastic game. Marvel Powers United Virtual Reality. Yeah, I definitely never heard of this. But Spider-Man's design in this virtual reality game looks pretty good. Look at that. That kind of looks pretty well detailed on the mask. I like it. Looks pretty well detailed. Marvel Spider-Man. Okay, I think this is a Lego series, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is a Lego series. I think I discovered this on YouTube, but didn't really watch any clips. But I think this is a Lego series, a Lego Marvel Spider-Man series. That's what I'm willing to believe what this is. I'm not sure, but I'm willing to believe this is what it is. And apparently Spider-Man gets a new design in Lego form as well in this series as well. Lego series, should I say. I heard of this, but I don't know what this is. Spider-Geddon. Apparently Griffin Burns voiced him in this thing. I don't know what that is, but Spider-Geddon, I don't know what that is, honestly. What is Spider-Geddon? I looked it up on YouTube, and this is a real Marvel series or something like that. So what is this? Spider-Geddon? I just don't understand this, honestly. Somebody will have to explain to me about what this is about. If y'all know what Spider-Geddon's about, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm very confused about this. Let me listen to that again. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Sure. Thumbs up. Oh. Yes. Definitely. Even though for some reason, while this movie came out in 2018, for some unknown reasoning, I still have never seen this movie yet. But I've been wanting to wait patiently to wait for the right moment to watch this. This movie is on Netflix. I've been trying to ask Mom and Dad to watch this with me, but we just couldn't pick the right moment to watch this. But hopefully one day we will, because I really want to watch this movie, because I heard people said this was a good movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And next year they're going to release a second version of this movie. It's going to be called Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And then sometime later, then there'll be a third one called Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. So it's pretty cool. I don't think Peter Parker is going to appear, or Peter B. Parker is going to appear in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, because in the trailer they only showed Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen. I don't think Peter Parker is in the second movie. I don't know. But Peter Parker was in this one. More specifically, two Peter Parkers was in here. This one, Jake Johnson voices Peter B. Parker, which is basically Oswald's Peter Parker. Back then, when I saw this man, Jake Johnson, voicing him in here, I thought he was just some ordinary voice actor, but it turns out he's an actor as well. Apparently, I looked back at that movie called Let's Be Cops. That's a very funny movie. I'm not gonna lie. That's a very funny movie. Let's Be Cops. And apparently, Jake Johnson was actually one of those actors who played those characters that pretended to be cops in that movie, Let's Be Cops. Who remembers that live-action comedy movie, Let's Be Cops? I thought that was a funny movie, and apparently I didn't even know Jake Johnson was actually one of those cops until I looked back at the movie and realized that was him. Pretty interesting to know that. Yep, and then there was a different man that voiced Miles Morales as Peter Parker, because as I said, in this movie, there was two different Peter Parkers. There was Jake Johnson, who voiced our Peter Parker, Peter B. Parker, and then this man, Chris Pine, who voiced Miles Morales as Spider-Man, the blonde-headed Peter Parker, as some people would want to call it. The better shape looking, because in Miles Morales' dimension, you know, Peter was in much better shape, while in Peter P. Parker, our Spider-Man, you know, in our world, for some reason he kind of gained weight, and then, you know, he was being unhealthy, and then, you know, he divorced Mary Jane and all that, so it's pretty sad, but oh well. But yeah, Chris Pine and Jake Johnson, thumbs up to both of them. I definitely give a thumbs up to both Jake Johnson and Chris Pine. Pretty good stuff. Chris Pine almost looks like Chris Hemsworth now that I look at him. He kind of almost looks like Chris Hemsworth, don't you think? Who famously plays Thor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Which actually, just a couple weeks ago, I went to see Thor Love and Thunder with my best friend Alex Gonzalez. It was actually not a bad movie. It was actually pretty fun, entertaining, you know. Fun action pack to it. Oh, yeah. Even though I never saw the movie, but I did see this little end credit scene at the end of the movie. I did see this, at least. I did see this. So don't worry. Even though I haven't seen this movie yet, I did get the spoiler to see the end credit scene in this movie, and yeah, Spider-Man 2099 appears, which that alerted and stated for the next movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which Spider-Man 2099 will appear in that movie. But yeah, this was funny. It was just like they pretty much recreated that meme on YouTube where they had like two Spider-Mans pointing at one another. It was funny. They did it with Spider-Man 2099 and then the original Spider-Man with that original theme song, Spider-Man, who was famously voiced by Paul Souls. So that's pretty funny. That was a funny little ending. But it was pretty cool to see Spider-Man 2099 appear in the end. Yes! Heck yeah! Yes! My number one favorite Spider-Man actor right now, Tom Holland. As I said before, while I agree with the world that Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man actor ever, Tom Holland is my current favorite Spider-Man actor. You know, when he first joined in Captain America Civil War, I didn't know what to make of him at first, but I grew slowly to love him. And then when Spider-Man Far From Home came out in 2018 during the summer and saw it in theaters, I really grew to love his performance. Like, I really grew to love it a lot that I ended up just having him as my new number one favorite Spider-Man actor. And of course, from what happened in Spider-Man No Way Home, there is no doubt that I would not say this man is not my favorite Spider-Man actor right now. Like, I'm just really currently loving Tom Holland's performance as Spider-Man. He is doing an amazing job, bro. And it's great to see that his legacy in the Marvel Cinematic Universe will still continue, and he still has more Spider-Man films that he'll make, along with maybe appearing in some other Marvel Cinematic films. Like, apparently I heard they're going to make a Fantastic Four movie for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's expected to say that Tom Holland will appear in that movie, which makes a lot of sense, because Tom Holland, or Spider-Man, is pretty good friends with the, Fantastic Four. So it's pretty cool, you know. I really can't wait to see what Tom Holland's next performance as Spider-Man is going to be like. I really kind of am curious to wonder what the next Spider-Man film with Tom Holland Spider-Man is going to be like from what happened in No Way Home, because, people were asking the question if Zendaya will come back as MJ or if Jacob will come back as Ned, or if their characters will ever remember Peter Parker, you know what I'm saying? Because Doctor Strange, Peter made the ultimate decision to cast that spell where everyone in the world would forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Which also meant that people wouldn't even remember that Peter Parker existed, so people wouldn't even know who he was anymore, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there was that as well. It was a pretty emotional ending, I ain't gonna lie. That ending to Spider-Man No Way Home still gets me even till this day. Like, ever since I saw that movie, it's been getting to me. It was just such an emotional ending, I ain't gonna lie. like, I relate to that movie. I relate to a lot in Spider-Man No Way Home, you know? Like, I relate to a lot in the character Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah. Anyway, I just don't have anything else much to say other than I just already said Tom Holland is my #1 favorite Spider-Man actor right now, so nothing more to be said. Let's just listen. Like I said, I really grew to love him in Spider-Man Far From Home, and then I really now love him way more now thanks to Spider-Man No Way Home. Really can't wait for Tom Holland to come back as Spider-Man in the future for the Marvel Cinematic Universe before his time is up. Because currently, right now, he's taking a break as Spider-Man, and I think he's going to be making other movies as well, so he's taking a little bit of a break, but hopefully sometime later in the future, you know, he'll be back as Spider-Man real soon. We shall see you back real soon as Spider-Man, Tom Holland. You did an amazing job. You're literally my favorite Spider-Man, bro. Shoutouts to you, man. God, even though it hasn't even been that long for him, it's only been like from 2016 to 2022, but it's already it's already feeling like a long legacy for Tom Holland as Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know what I mean? And that was the last one. Tom Holland was the last one, so... Alright. My voice is just being destroyed from all this talking, so... There were so many good ones in here. There was some that got thumbs up and some that got maybes. And nobody actually got a thumbs down, so pretty much all these people did good, including from my part 1 reaction. Like I said, if you haven't seen my part 1, go check it out. But anyway, when it comes down to it, this is going to be a huge list. Obviously, I better start with live-action-wise. When it comes to live-action-wise, you already know it. It's all 3 of the movie Spider-Man actors. Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, and Andrew Garfield. All 3 of them are. Tom Holland is my #1, Tobey Maguire #2, and Andrew Garfield's #3. When I previously reacted to this video from the previous 2 times before in my YouTube channel, I only ranked Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland. They were my only 2 picks, while Andrew Garfield was still a maybe. But I've changed my mind since then. He's now part of my favorites list. So for my favorite live-action Spider-Man, it's all 3 of the movie Spider-Man actors now. Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield. And then for animated-wise, there was a lot of people that were really good in here as well, like Christopher Daniel Barnes, Neil Patrick Harris, Robbie Daymond. There was quite a few number of people in here that were pretty good. James Almost Taylor was pretty good too. There was quite a few interesting names in here that actually did a pretty good job. I ain't gonna lie. Drake Bell as well. There was a few names in here that were pretty good, that did a pretty good job. But when it comes down to it, my personal 2 favorite Spider-Man voice actors for video game and animated wise, it's definitely Josh Keaton and Yuri Lowenthal. It's only those 2. Back then, from my previous 2 reactions, I had other people as my favorites, but there's way too many to keep up with, so I'm just going to have to just come down to my 2 personal favorite ones, and that's being Josh Keaton and Yuri Lowenthal. As of right now, Yuri Lowenthal and Josh Keaton, they're like my 2 personal favorites, but there's a few others that are my favorites as well, like Neil Patrick Harris, Drake Bell, Robbie Daymond, and James Almost Taylor. There's a few others as well, but like I said, when it comes to 2 personal favorites, it's Josh Keaton and Yuri Lowenthal. Those are my 2 personal favorites for video game and animated-wise Spider-Man. So in total, that's 5. 5. Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Yuri Lowenthal, and Josh Keaton. Those 5. So those are my 5 personal favorite picks for Spider-Man. Like I said, there was others that were good too, like Drake Bell, James Almost Taylor, Neil Patrick Harris, but it's just Yuri Lowenthal and Josh Keaton that just take the W for my 2 personal favorite picks for animated and video game-wise Spider-Man. So yep, it's them 2, and then as I said, live-action Spider-Man, it's all 3 Spider-Man movie actors, Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield. So that's it. That's all of them. So, God, I really need a break. My voice is killing me from talking for so long. But as always, don't forget to leave a comment down below the video now. Tell me who you love as the voice of Spider-Man, who you love as both animated and video game-wise Spider-Man, and who you love as live-action Spider-Man. And don't forget to share this video with all your friends to get their honest opinions as well, because I love to know. You can even start a conversation as well. So, yeah, leave a comment down below and start a conversation letting me know who y'all love best as Spider-Man. So, I can't wait to hear it, you know. This was totally worth it, even though this was a long video, and, you know, it took me a long time for me to complete this by splitting up into 2 parts. But you know what? It was all worth it to react to this again for the 3rd time in a row on my YouTube channel to celebrate Spider-Man Day on August the 1st, to celebrate Spider-Man Day, so it was all worth it. There was a few other voice comparison reaction videos I was going to plan on doing today, but you know what? I'm already tired from all this. I was yawning during the video, so you know what? I think I'll save the rest of those voice comparison reaction videos for tomorrow, so stay tuned for tomorrow, as I'll do more by then. I mean, like I said, the other voice comparison reaction videos I was going to plan on doing today, they're much more shorter than this video I just did, but I'm already tired enough from this, so like I said, I'm just probably just going to save it for tomorrow. It's tiring. I'm a bit tired. I probably need some sleep as well, so I'm done. So, thank you so much for watching with me, you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this with me to celebrate Spider-Man Day. It was all worth it. Spider-Man is just without a doubt my #1 favorite Marvel superhero. Probably Spider-Man will forever go down as my favorite Marvel superhero. Like, you just can't go wrong with Peter Parker, man. Peter Parker is the bomb, bro. You know, sometimes I feel like he doesn't even get treated too well when he's with the Avengers because, you know, he's pretty much almost like the weak link in the Avengers. I mean, he can be useful in the Avengers sometimes, but it's like whenever he's with the other heroes in the Avengers, he's just like being used as a weak link, which is really disappointing. It's kind of disrespectful. He deserves to be treated better when he's with the Avengers, but for some reason he just has to be treated like he's the weak link, you know. So, you know, personally, I feel like Spider-Man is actually better off when he's on his own than being with the Avengers, being with a team, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's better off with other teams, like his web-slinging warriors, and then, you know, forming his own teams and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I think he's better off when he's alone than being with the Avengers, because when he's alone, you really see how strong he is. I mean, even though he's not as strong as the Hulk and all that, but you see how strong he is, how tough he is, and much more, you know what I'm saying? So, I think Spider-Man's really better off when he's solo than being with the Avengers, you know what I'm saying? Because he gets used more better when he's doing his own story than being with the Avengers, you know what I'm saying? So, that's my honest opinion. But anyway, I'm out of here, guys. I'm going to get a drink. I'm probably going to do a few other things before I go to bed. I'm going to save the rest of those videos I was going to plan on doing today to celebrate Spider-Man Day tomorrow. So, when I make those videos tomorrow, I'll use them to celebrate Spider-Man Day one day late. You know, Spider-Man Day late, you know what I'm saying? So, we'll see how many videos I'll get to tomorrow. I'll see if I can get through the rest of the videos I planned on doing today tomorrow or not. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm out of here, y'all. I need a break real bad. It's time for me to sleep. This lighting is making my eyes fall asleep, and I'm probably about to yawn again real soon if I don't hurry up. So, thank you once again for joining. I'm out of here, so have a good day, y'all. Thank you for joining. Happy Spider-Man Day. I'm out. So that'll be it for today, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Dislike to give it a thumbs down. I don't care. Join me next time in the next video. To all you boys, men, and guys out there. Fist bumps good to all of you. To all the girls, ladies, and women out there. Mwah. Kisses go out to all of you. But until then, this is Joe Flash signing off, and have a good day. Happy Spider-Man Day, everybody. Peace.